G'day, g'day. How are we all? I'm good. I'm getting better by the minute, which is lovely. Not really much going on around here, simply because I've been on the deathbed for the last week. But things are coming along. We're sort of in the planning stages again. Just waiting for Shane and Inzy and that to turn up a little bit, and just plodding along. There's things I've got to do, which we'll talk about now. So the girls are out, and boy. G'day Elvis, he is a friendly bugger, look at him. Loves the camera, don't you mate? He's doing really, really well. None of these girls have started laying yet, but their combs are getting a lot bigger, which is cool. They're all really young. So I do have names. What do we got? We've got Astrid, Esme, Rosa, Elvis, Pearl, Scully, and we have, sorry, that wasn't Esme, that was Matilda. That's Esme, the darker Buff Orpington. And Claire, that's you, Claire. Hey Claire, how you going? Scary Clary, we'll call her. Totally forgotten that one's name. And that is Daphne. What is her name? Is it Diane? Oh, I know what it was. It was Frog. It was Froggy. So yeah, that's all the girls. And they're all out. And boy, they're all out. And Elvis just tends to follow me around because he thinks I've got food all the time. Like, we hand fed him one day and he's never forgot that. And now he pecks Leah on the back of the legs and stuff, which is hilarious. Where's my food? Where's my food, bitch? Excuse the French, but that's pretty much what he's saying. I've let these guys in here just because I don't really need this stuff. It's not growing that well because the dirt's not that good. It was all right. And I was sort of convinced that they weren't going to eat my cabbages, but guess what they did? They ate my cabbages. Look at it. Got right in there. But, I've got more. So, and this patch here is coming out. So let's talk about what I'm actually going to do coming up. This, as much as I love this hoop house, I even like the look of it. It's fairly old school. This was here when I got here 3-4 months ago now, 3.5 months ago. And yeah, for all you new guys, I've only been here for 3.5 months, so none of this was here. It was all rocks. All rocks. A mate of mine, Besh, came across with his multi-one machine, and we got all this out. And I've obviously since bought a machine, which is going to help me do the garden to my left, which I'll show you in a second. So I sprinkled this with a heap of wheat, and so they get in there and they scratch it around. They love it. Hey Elvis. I love you all. And so they're doing that job. I've got another bale I need to get down here. There's so much I've got to do. Just lots of little jobs. Jobs I'd like to finish, like this fence, before Inzy and Shane get here. And this is why the fence is here. Not for him. He's fine. He can come in here. But Gracie can't. Because we know why. Well, some of you probably don't. But Gracie has got a body count of chickens and quails and roosters. 2 roosters, 6 chickens, 7 quails, I believe it's at now. And that's why that fence was built. So I talked in my short about a Japanese garden, Japanese deck and pergola, and this is what it's going to be. So I'm relocating this shed, probably put it up there and make it part of the chicken coop somehow. Not sure how yet. That concrete's coming out, slate here. This is coming out, and from here, that's going to be the first pond. All right, so all this wood chip's getting dug out. The deck's going to come out to about the edge of that plant there, and then you will see, I guess, a koi pond that will go under a little bridge here, so you can get up onto the deck, go up round here, down to another pond, and then all this stuff on my left is all coming out. Well, 90% of it is coming out, and the vegetable garden's going in, and we're going to run another sort of like stream or pond through into the middle here, and that is where I'm going to set up an irrigation system for everything around it. So given this will be the view that you're seeing right now from the deck pretty much, so what I've got to do is I've got to make sure that we move that hoop house. So that hoop house is actually going to come to where the chickens are to unblock the view a little bit. Can't do much about that fence. It's asbestos, so we're going to leave that alone. It's solid, but yeah, it's going to cost too much money to pull out, or I have to do it illegally myself. It's probably what would end up happening, but I don't want to do it. So essentially, On the right here, we're going to have taller crops. Probably on the left here, we have the taller crops, things like tomatoes, corn, stuff like that. And then in the middle will be the smaller stuff. Now, it's not going to be the traditional road garden because I'm an old chef and I don't really love straight lines. So that's the real reason why it's going to be fairly eclectic. It's going to be fairly squiggly. And I'll show you a picture, a really rough idea of what we're going to do. But we'll take this slate out, most of it, about 90% of it, and then there'll be smaller dirt pathways running through there. And then each of the beds will be multi-sown with a couple of different types of crops. And there'll be trap crops in here, lots and lots of trap crops. I've actually got an aphid problem at the moment on some of the old broccolini, but I'm not getting rid of them because I want to. This is the perfect time to bring those bugs in, and then get the predator in after them. So, we might get some pest pressure right now, but I don't care. I don't care because it's just the beginning, and these crops were just what I planted straight away just to get something in the ground. So I'll leave the aphids there, and hopefully that'll attract the ladybugs, and I think the native Australian wasp will have a crack at them as well. I've actually seen a lot of bugs in that hoop house lately, which is not something that we had at the start. So we'll keep that callistemon right there. That's the only tree that you can see here that's going to be kept. All this will be Japanese topiary and pond. All that will be really high intensity vegetable gardening. And up in the top shed on my left behind me, that's going to be a mushroom room with worms and compost operation. So it's going to take a couple of years to really get running. The vegetables won't. The vegetables we should be able to have up and going this year, and we'll see how much we can grow. So the first year is just going to be experiments, and particularly to have a look at what worms actually do compared to, say, a bed with lots and lots of worm castings and homemade compost compared to, beds that are probably done a more traditional way. And so I really want to see what the effects are. I've got suspicions and I've got prior knowledge, so I've got a little bit of understanding of how much better worm castings make, but not a total understanding. So you never hear of any negatives with worm castings, but I think there might be some. Things like they hold a lot of water, a lot of water. So we'll see, and that's what we need to find out, because when we go to sell them, we want to know exactly what they do and why the farmers should buy them, because we're going to be selling them in ton increments, and it's going to be quite expensive. So there's not much point buying something that's, say, worth, I don't know, $11,000 a ton if it does nothing to your property. That's big money. So we've got to get it right. All my tanks are full now, but my pump's buggered, so I can't use them. I'm not going to go back up to the compost today. I won't show you, but I will tell you it's running at just about 60 degrees, so it's perfect. It took a while to crank up, and I think that it did that because I'm using town water on it at the moment. And what happens is I gave it a good water when I turned it the other day, and killed all the bacteria in it, and you have to wait for that bacteria to spring up. So, and the more I learn about using town water, and Adelaide town water is quite heavily chlorinated because it comes from a muddy old river. I have to clean it fairly thoroughly. It's good, but when I've moved here 20 years ago, it used to come out of tap brown, so it doesn't anymore. It's fairly heavily chlorinated, and I imagine that does pretty nasty things to worms and to bacteria. So we need to get that pump fixed. So let's go and have a look at this picture quickly, and yeah, keep going. So this is it. This is very, very rough, but you see that circle's the water tank. The rectangle next to that is the to-be Japanese deck, and this is what it's going to look like. So when I say it's not going to be in lines, it's still going to be really intensive. There's just going to be different shapes in there, and that's the pond right in the middle there that I haven't marked, something like that, who knows. And then all around that will just be dirt, rammed earth pathways, which I may put wood chip on. But if you've been watching this channel, you'll know that I'm not a massive fan of wood chip, and I will tell you why. Why do I hate wood chip? There's a couple of reasons. One, don't think it looks that good, to be honest. Nah, yeah, just doesn't look that good. 2, it is messy. It flicks around, it blows around. People think it's good mulch. It is not, which brings me to number 3. Why I hate wood chip. Now, the compost experiment that I'm doing, I've got a lot of wood chip. It's part of my job. I bring it home, I chip it, I compost it, and I knew that it steals nitrogen. I know it. Everybody most people that are in gardening knows that wood chip will suck up all your nutrients and then have it slowly break down and release it back into the soil. But for that first year or so, it's stealing everything. And the compost up the top, the amount of green that I've had to put in that is much more than I would normally have to put in when I'm just using grass and straw and, offcuts and the softer sort of stuff. It just steals nitrogen. And I knew it, but I didn't know it properly until I started composting with large amounts of chip. And the problem with that is you can't put the nitrogen in it all at once, because it then cranks up, gets over 70 degrees, and brings all those bad pathogens and anaerobic bacteria into your compost pile. But then you have to go and continuously turn it. So what I'm finding is, instead of having to do 3 heat cycles, I'm having to do 6 or 7 heat cycles, which will be fine. With the compost, it's fine. That's why I need 4 to 5 bins, so I can just keep turning it, get it small enough so the worms can eat it, and then the worms and the nematodes and the bacteria will do the rest. But for the start, I'm just going to, every time I have to turn it, I think I'm going to have to put a whole new load of green in it. So grass or chicken poop or horse manure, whatever I can find. And those things, luckily, are quite plentiful to me. You guys have not seen what I can get yet. I've been holding off. I haven't been working that much because of the rain and sickness and winter and holidays and all sorts of stuff. So the last 2 months, I've been bringing nothing home. But you wait. It will start coming in absolute tons very, very shortly. Sort of brings me on to what I need to say is, I don't know whether I'm going to be doing a lot of videos, just simply because I've really got to get stuck into work between now and when Shane and Imsy and that come. And because of the daylight hours, by the time I get home, I've usually run out of light. So other than the weekends, there's not really a lot more that I can do in the day. I mean, there's not a lot I can do up here anyway. Believe it or not, this is planted out 100%. You just can't tell yet because it is winter. So you wait till spring and see what happens. Garlic's going really well. All right, let's go for a little walk, shall we? This is a part of the yard I never show you. I might have showed you once. This is my backyard. You can see there's quite a fair bit of space down here. It's all really usable space. So these grevilleas are coming out. They're all coming out. And, well, let's just say everything in here is coming out. And this will be my herb and stuff that I want to eat garden. So this is, a lot of it will be for me, but a lot of it will be herbs. And up the back there, you can see the shed. That's where I normally hang out. That will all be trellis with probably passion fruit on there. I'm not sure yet. We haven't figured out. I may even espalier. I've been thinking maybe I'll espalier some citrus trees up there, which would be nice to have orange and lemon espaliered citrus. I mean, these are nice plants. Don't get me wrong. I love a nice succulent drought-resistant plant, but not at my house. They can stay at the botanical gardens, and trust me, there's plenty of them around here. So this will all come out. This will all get chipped. This will all go into the compost and eventually get fed by the worms. So this is where the cat hides out, and where the chickens used to hide out, which is why it's so messy. They used to get in under that bush there, under that big hedge, and go nuts. So like I said, I don't show you much of this because this is all a work in progress, but we've obviously got plans. One of my big jobs is I have to make a gate for here. So this is the other part of the yard that I rarely ever show you. There's lots of little nooks and crannies in this house. And you could do quite a bit of stuff. You could grow 1 or 2 crops. You could grow something nice. And this corner here I really love, but I'm not sure what to do with it. Love those big gum trees there. It's 3 ghost gums or lemon scented gums, whatever they are. I love the white trunks on them. They're nice and smooth too. They don't send too much bark off, which is something that I don't like about eucalypts because it's a massive fire hazard. And yeah, my old beer bush, that one's got to go. That is a light beer bush, and that's no good for anybody. It's ridiculous. Not sure why they even make it, to be honest. But it's a lovely little area, you know. I just got to figure out what to do with it, and that sort of goes double. For this, we're not going to change any of the infrastructure because it's all pretty good. All this rock is from the property, I've been told. Bit of firewood there. And there's Big Bessie, the compost heap. She's dead at the moment. Now I'm feeling a bit better on the weekend. I'll get out here with a machine and I will turn it. I don't think there's any green in here anymore. So this area here, all these brevilleas again are going to go. I don't know why people planted them. Did you not find someone with flowers on it? It's pretty. It's not army green. Let's go for a nicer green, you know. And have a look at quickly, I'll finish up here. Have a look at the church across the road. Remember this? It was brown. Brown as brown as brown, short, dirt, a whole lot. I wonder who harvests these olives, because they're old. These olives would be 170 years old, which in Australian terms is basically the beginning of the world. So yeah, have a look at the church. That was barren. They haven't had any sheep or anything in here. And it's nice though. I actually met someone from here the other day and they took me for a tour, tried to convert me. But I said, sorry, mate, no can do. But I'll come for the barbecue. And he said, there are no barbecues. And I was like, that's disappointing. So, on that note, I hope you guys have had a lekker day. I hope you've had a wonderful week. Sorry about my voice, although I think it sounds a little bit sexy. I'll speak with you soon. Bye now.